Everyone has to take one for a team. Okay, so you what are you, what this whiteboard daily is impressive. Do you do all the drawings?
Yeah, I do all the drawings. I love it. It's my passion. It's crazy how it came about and how it's grown. And I'm just so thankful to have a platform like this to share everything I've learned from CrossFit and coaching over my tenure, over my years. Yeah.
Tell me about how this Instagram account started. Is it do you have a website also?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've got a store, wbd.tips. I also got a glossary that I need to update, where instead of like you scrolling through all of the content I put out there, it's easy to find, like, you can just look for categories and then it'll just take you straight to corresponding information. Like if you're going to coach the overhead squat and you want cues on that, it'll take you straight to just those cues. So anyway, and I got to do some upkeep on that website because there's just so much time in the day. But anyway, it started, I think I made the name back in 2017. And it started off because I had some ideas in my head that I wanted to share of like coaching things, and the whiteboard made sense because it's like an easy medium to stick with. And you know, if you're in CrossFit, everything kind of starts at the whiteboard, as far as like going over the workout and the coaching cues or whatever. So I created this Instagram called Whiteboard Daily, and it initially started with just like inspirational quotes and workouts and stuff that when you look at content in social media today, it's like a dime a dozen. Nothing special about it. There was nothing special when I first started it, and it wasn't going the way I wanted it to. And so I stuck with it for about 3 months, and then I was like, you know what, I don't know what I want to do right now, but this isn't it. So I took off basically a year of not doing anything and just kind of thinking about it. And then I was like, man, a year was coming up, and I started to like get an idea of like, okay, I think I know how to use this. And so I mapped out a month of content ahead of time, and it included like a motivational Monday and like a technique Tuesday and a words of wisdom Wednesday. And it was like, I mapped out this content, like, okay, I know kind of where I'm going. And then from there, I saw the response from people with their likes and what was relevant to those people. And I would put out some coaching cues, and people love those, and people love the drawings, and so I was like, well, I'm going to start doing more of that stuff because I like doing that. And it's grown to what it is today because I try to make stuff relevant, especially I target coaches. I want to provide quality coaching content for coaches because I know that they'll end up hopefully finding stuff relevant enough to share with their own gyms and their own clients and their own athletes. And I know how busy it is for a coach to kind of explain things or draw up things. So if I can do that and share it with them, and they can share it with others, then I think we got something relevant and successful there. And it also kind of started with this idea that I really thought it'd be cool to have a book of cues. In CrossFit, there's so much that we use. Well, in coaching in general, cues aren't coaching, but cues are a major part of coaching. And I thought it'd be cool to make a reference book of cues, just all collective. And so this Instagram became like this platform where I could start to like at least create content and put it out there. And thankfully, this is pretty cool. This is good. This is new news as well. I just signed a contract for a book deal. And so the same publisher that does Supple Leopard, it's a Victory Belt. They do Supple Leopard. They just did Squat University's Rebuilding Milo, all the Brian McKenzie books, Carl Paoli, same publisher of all those guys, Brent Contreras, the Glute Lab. I'm working with them now to create the book of cues. And like after I get off the call with you right now, it's my first meeting with the publishing team to move forward on action steps. So it's like,
dude, that's a great idea.
Yeah, man. And I see it as like a coffee table book in every single CrossFit affiliate, like something fun to look at, kind of like art, that's like for the coach or for the athlete. And
So basically, if Brian's at his gym and he's gonna be, and there's a workout with you, and there's Cindy, he can be in there and be like, he can look up squats.
Yep.
And find 10 cues on how to squat.
he'll find probably about 200 cues on squatting, but yeah.
So it's how to squat overhead,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
to squat
Yeah.
with front rack, back rack, air squat.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's super cool.
This
You
is
know,
what
was
this is what I used to use. Sevan, you gave
Yeah.
me this.
I'm a good dude.
The
I'm a
first
good
the
dude.
first year that I was had this book, I would reference it every before every class. If we were snatching, I read through the snatching
Was
segment.
that the L1 guide?
Yeah,
It is.
that's the L1. Hey, Brian, you don't like. I got the same thing printed off, and man, I use that so much just to find my own coaching cues and movement sequences. That honestly, there's so much gold, not just in that, but also, and I know Sevan, you can attest to this. CrossFit Journal is like a gold mine for knowledge that people. I would hope that they realize that, but man, there's so much good stuff there that you can just go back and reference.
I'm not exaggerating. When people who have their masters in like kinesiology and from all over the world, I've heard more than 100 times that you learn more at the L1 in those 2 days than
Yeah.
they learned in their 4 years in college. They learn more from the CrossFit Journal than they've ever learned in college. It's nuts. That's why it's so frustrating when and not just learn, it's like actually applicable to making people better instantly. Like you can just open that thing, read something, and then go make your mom and dad better in the kitchen, or whoever,
Yeah.
your wife, your husband, your kids. Yeah, it's nuts. That cue thing is just so sweet. I love it. I'm like envious of it.
Yeah.
It's so like, how was there not that before, right?
No. Well, and
How is there
also-
not that before? That's so good.
That's what I didn't realize when I kind of started this thing. Is like I didn't start it because it didn't exist. I started it because I thought it'd be cool, and then I realized,
Right.
wait, no one else is like drawing movement sequences with stick figures, and but that's really important stuff. And
Right.
as someone on a podcast before mentioned, it was like it's about as basic. You're taking like complex movements and you're breaking them down into the most simplest forms to the point where it's almost like cave drawings on a cave wall. Like
Yeah, it
doesn't
is
get-
cave drawings on a cave
it
wall.
doesn't get- yeah,
Not
it doesn't-
basically, it is.
Yeah, it doesn't get more basic than that. And so
You just need a spear in the guy's hand and a buffalo.
I might
and
try
you're
that,
there.
Carl,
But
do you
also,
was-
do
Go
you remember
ahead.
the first time someone got a tattoo of one of your drawings?
yeah, of course, man. I still was working at my other job. I used to work for USA Track and Field, and that's one of the points when I realized I was like, man, okay, again, and Sevan, with your podcast, social media, whatever, really your primary goal is that you just want to make something that's relevant that people can connect with, and you want to bring value to people. And when I first saw someone like tattoo something that I have drawn on them permanently on their body, I was like, okay, I think this is relevance. I think this is value. So it was a big. I will never forget the feeling, and I still get the same feeling every time I still see that. Whenever I post somebody tattooing a drawing of mine, it's really cool. It's really humbling.
Yeah, there are quite a few of
Yeah,
them.
that's
If you
nuts.
scroll through your page, it is a really cool thing.
Yeah. Well, and then every time I post one, like every time I make a post about one, then I start getting DMs from other people who are like, oh, wait, like I've done that too. I just never showed it to you. So it got to the point where I had to make its own category on my page of Whiteboard Daily Inc. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll get my own tattoo. I don't know. I don't have any tattoos right now, but if I did, it might be a drawing. I don't know.